right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? It's the 7th. We got some movement out there, specifically over in the yen. And this is what tends to happen when you see any type of yen comments, which could be considered aggressive, right? Um, excuse me. I was like, oh, God, I'm going to sneeze. Um, you can see dollar yen down 253 in the last 24 hours, pound yen down 356. Massive amount of movement there. And we got some overnight comments. You can see here. My explanation on monetary policy to the PM included wage hike outlook next year. And again, whenever there's anything like that that is considered somewhat aggressive, you tend to have some crazy movement, right? Some crazy movement over there in the end, and that's what we got. Now the interesting thing about it is it wasn't kind of a one gigantic candle. It was kind of like the sentiment, and again, maybe people saw what was coming here. Um, Kind of understood this, translated it a little bit early. Again, pretty consistent. Again, it obviously accelerated once this became, public knowledge. But for the most part, it was already starting to trend in that direction. We had some levels drawn. We needed to break through specific levels, and it did. Right, it did. But again, what it does for us now is it clears a lot of old. I mean, a lot of the old levels that were like slow and grindy to get it up to where it was, they're all gone now. Right. So I mean that's one of the best things about this is when you have situations like this where you have massive days. And again, it's massive compared to what we're used to, like pound yen, 130 pip daily ATR. This is obviously a little bit past that, right? These are big emotional moves, but at the same time, again, they tend to be more fundamentally based over there because it's there's an invention or something else. But for the most part, um, again, Japan's policy is such a strange thing. They keep it so cheap. So again, it can be a huge export nation. They thrive on that. Eventually, when it gets too bad, though, they can't get the resources out of the island, so it almost kind of backfires on them. And forever, I mean, they've had this. They've been the uh, the lowest, I guess, is the best way to say it. Had that lowest interest rate just forever. Um, yeah, exactly, buds. So yeah, with that movement, a lot of things we can trade with it. The rest of the, day this morning, foreign currency reserves in Swiss came in. Unemployment claims came in basically exactly as expected. And it kind of reaffirmed last time there was just 1,000 higher and then 1,000 higher. So again, any major surprise there? Not really. And I'm actually surprised it wasn't a little bit less based off of the job openings. But it shows you that, we talk about, oh, the labor market, it's slowing. It's slowing. Absolutely. But we really haven't seen much change for the last 5 months. So yes, there's less job openings and I guess percentage wise, because there's less, you could say that. Um, but again, we saw in that other chart, the statistics chart, the Labor and Bureau chart. I'm sorry, the Bureau of Labor. Um, the point seven has been the same thing since July. So there's not really as much slowing as everybody thinks that there is. Tomorrow morning, we know we have big stuff coming in. We have obviously the average hourly earnings. Are people getting paid more? What is the non-farm number? Is it going to be a disappointment, or if it comes in at 185? Right now with the big, the ADP number, everybody's kind of expecting like, oh my God, is this going to be like 100? Is it going to be super low? What if it comes in right at 185? What if the analyst got it right this time? Right? What? Sitting on a box. Um, he's got his like tablet on like a filing cabinet, but his feet don't touch the ground now. So he climbed up there, but he dropped his apple and he didn't want to hop off. Lazy child. But again, there could be massive movements on that one tomorrow morning. So, and then obviously consumer sentiment expected to go a little bit higher, and then obviously late at night we have Chinese CPI on a yearly basis. No, no, what are you doing? Yeah, you're making a big mess now. So besides those two big things, movement 18, 26, nothing big. Again, dollar strength, dollar Swiss, dollar strength, dollar CAD, dollar strength, Aussie dollar, just a smidge of dollar strength in there, and then euro pound basically flat. Right, it's a green number, but it's been red over the last hour by just a little tiny smidge. Right, so really not a lot of movement. That one also kind of flatlined. So, um, yeah, yeah. Eh, overall, again, the yen was a big play. Besides that, rather slow. Again, it's December, so things tend to kind of get a little bit less. The VIX A little bit of jump in the overnight, little, kind of popped up a little bit yesterday, but really the overnight, not too much movement there, not a whole lot. The dollar is basically the same thing. Yesterday we were sitting right here, like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So we're basically where we were yesterday. And what happened? U.S. session came on, it went up. U.S. session closed, they kind of rallied back down again. European session kind of pushed it up a little bit. We hit the 104 again, and then came down. And now that this we're at that 9:30, 10 o'clock time frame, it's exactly where we were yesterday over here when we started the surge higher. So we'll see. Indices split, right? Um, Russell finally not the biggest mover out there. You have ES up about 0.5%, NQ up zero point 0.9, almost 1%. YM basically flat, trying to fight its way into the green here a little bit. And then the Russell at minus 0.28, so not much different. Commodities, oil back over 70. Now, we mentioned yesterday closing below 70 would be a feat. It did. It actually closed. I got an email about it, that it did close below 70, but we're still, again, 70 we knew was going to be, and we actually drew that kind of zone on there. We knew that that was going to be a level that was kind of, you know, great level, not so much, but we knew that it was going to be a level regardless. Again, whether it be above or below, there'd be some big bodies in there, and it would act as a magnet. And that's kind of where we're still at right now, sitting at 70/30. Natural gas down 0.9%, so down almost 1%. And again, that's supposedly on the mild temperatures, even though it's snowing in Maryland today. So it's funny that it's, and if you look at like the radar, I guess the Philadelphia area has a big ball of snow over there. It's funny, like, yeah, mild temperatures, but like we have snow. We never get snow in December. So I don't know. We're wondering if this is a foreshadow of things to come. I don't know if I told you guys yesterday that Melissa's car died. It just like wouldn't start. I figured it out. Got a battery. Was out there changing her battery this morning. Got it working again. Felt accomplished. Right. I'm not like a mechanic by any means, but was able to figure it out. Replace the battery. Got a good run on it. But again, I guess the hint of cold is what the battery was like. You know what? It's been 6 years. We out. Right. And again, it's amazing. I was like, I don't ever really pay much attention to that stuff. It's just kind of like, I typically don't keep cars long enough. Liz and I were both like, how long do car batteries last? And they're like, good batteries can last up to 5 or 6 years. The average is 2 to 3 years. I'm like, really? Wow. And them suckers aren't cheap. I thought they used to be, cheaper. But yeah, I was like, ugh. But yeah, got that fixed out in the snow today. So yeah, milder temperatures, natural gas dropping down. We're back at that 255 mark, which I think is awesome. Um, Back where it belongs, right? Much better place. But again, as I said, it's snowing. And then gold and silver a little bit scrambled today. One is down 0.35, one is up 0.3. Gold, I think, is a little bit high. And again, I'm curious to see why, again, the rationale on that one is kind of a little bit weird. But silver, we're under 24, right? So we talked about how 24 and 2025 are the two big areas. We're at 23.80 right now. So, I mean, you got a decent move to the downside, 0.35%. It obviously can do a lot more than that. But, kind of interesting spot. Interesting spot. Aussie dollar. So, Aussie dollar, we actually probably, yeah, we just bounced off that thing again. We kind of had our news kind of come in here, and then the 9:30 candle is bringing it back. You can see yesterday, this one got out at, we drew this one here, right at that 9:30 mark, and said, hey, listen, it's a decent pullback if you're looking for something. And it was 8 for like 25. It got you out at 1 o'clock, and we're hitting that right now again. Is it good for another one? You could take it, but I'd be more cautious with it. Again, the only reason why I said it's not bad is because the 8:30 data point today actually drove it up, right? So it was linked to some type of news, kind of that emotional response, and we tend to see a retracement back again, which would bring it right about back down where it was before. And again, U.S. session rolling in, we tend to see a little bit more kind of strength like that rolled in. So again, it's not the first time it's been here. It's been here before. Yesterday's trade, you're out with 26 pips. Again, not a bad spot there. Again, we're hitting it again. Is it as good? No. Like if this is like a B plus, this is like a C plus, right? It gets lower each time we hit that zone because it eats more orders out of it. But right now, again, it is pushing back down. But that trade was out yesterday at 1 o'clock, and we talked about 65.26. Haven't touched this chart. I'll extend it across. You can see we tagged that at 22:30 last night. So what was it? 10:30. 10:30 p.m. We literally started the base on that zone, and that was our reversal all the way back up again. So again, a zone that we had talked about. We knew that we had touches there. It hadn't been. This is only the second hit of it. You may or may not have got into this one. There was a green, and this was a hard one. It obviously took off pretty good. There's a green, a red, and a green. The red didn't. It kind of closed right at the exact spot. Typically when you set these up, you'd like to see this, right? I'm not going to draw all of them. You like to see like this, right? And there's your red. Here, I'll change this one to red so it's easy, right? Typically, you want to see something like this. It doesn't come as low. When it does that, yeah, technically it didn't go lower, but it's like, it's kind of a weird pattern. It did peak just a little bit. Um, Ideally with the color changes, you want them kind of like that, right? You kind of want it to be not quite as far. There's no specific rule whether it's, it can't breach 50 or it can't breach 66. But ideally, that's what you're looking for, not as this. But there was a green, red, green bouncing off a level that we pointed out yesterday that was a confirmed level. And it was a nice rally all the way back up again. Came all the way back up to 62, up 62 pips. So nice movement. Again, from late last night till now, that is one daily ATR. So again, if it pulls back again, not necessarily surprised. So let's pull this one off, right? Okay, what are you doing? It's not a heavy box, dude. It's Amazon. There's a little toy inside of it. So I don't know if you guys are getting like all your Amazon presents because like obviously there's no toy stores anymore local. No, no, put that down. There's birdseed in there. Um, it's the box is like 80% air. You know, there's a little toy in there with 80% air inside this Amazon box, and he's trying to like sit on it and use it as a step stool. It's just not working for him. But anyway, seeing this push back down, I think that makes a lot of sense. Again, just use caution here. It is a little bit deep in there. So if you're not already in, if you're in, you're fine. You're up already over 1.5 at this point. You're probably at the about 50% of the way there, so 1.5 in. Um, Again, seeing it base in this level though, again there could be a further push down, and I actually wouldn't be surprised by tonight again if we come back down and hit the 60, 65.26. You may get some level of basing in here, and then be able to take somewhat of a Harry Potter down. But again, trade finish from yesterday, easy overnight. You could have taken this short, but you can see it's where the 1 to 3 is right about where profit taking should be. So just use caution with that. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, really, we got one little surge here, and then this is where the second surge came in. We had a level down here we had talked about, but we mentioned it yesterday. It literally the level, right? It had been already pushed, so not necessarily the best. And again, this is what happens sometimes with the yen. We just have just this push. So we were talking about down. We wanted to see what it did. It did do a base here and a pullback, but unfortunately, it didn't. It was close. Like there was your base, and it kind of tickled it, right? It was a base. It pulled down and pulled back up. So there was a way to get in, and then this is where the acceleration came, when that second statement came out. So, right now, this is one of those big fundamental pieces. I think this is great because, like this, not a great level. That's why we didn't put anything on it because the very bottom here was the very bottom here. The nice thing about this one, getting some type of news like that, is we knew we had all sellers in here, right? We knew we had this level here, too big for a risk. We really needed to get back down and reset. So where we are right now, we're playing with, price is right here right now. So we got another one of those levels that's really been pushed, but we're kind of getting back to like the extreme side of it. Um, so yeah, it's the complete opposite end of things. Um, because of what this is, right? This is not an Aussie move. Hey, no, no. I'm gonna birdseed all over the entire room. The why we're having problems right here. One, it's a 95. So we have a whole number playing here. The low is 94.97.5. So I mean, again, we know exactly. Hey, no, no. Put it over there. Don't play with that. No more. Yeah, he's gonna spill birdseed all over this entire room. So we're running into a lot of different things here. Now, with this said, we did get a little bit of reversal in here. So, could we run this from the top to bottom? Sure, we could. And if we do, again, you can see there's all the spacing here. So I think it's important to kind of point out that area right there, right? Now, with that said, there was a little bit in here. We had lower highs on this one, higher highs up there, but there was kind of a drop. It's more sideways than anything else. But you could also do a second fib draw on this one and say from here down. And that's kind of what it ran into, but there's no levels associated with it. There's one here we can take out. But the reality is, I think this 23 is going to be best. If we get all the way back up top of the 78, I'm not necessarily concerned with it. So I was trying to see if this was a 50. Maybe we push a little bit more. We get into this range, and then it's not bad. But right now, I think we still stay with the top one. Here was the push from yesterday. Again, we were out at 11:30s when this one actually took profit, and it's funny. It came down, pulled back, and grabbed the same profit again. So that one is out as well. We'll just leave that there. We'll shrink this now that I don't need the full size of it. How much is this? 10. Let's see. Can we shrink this 15. We'll use the red one. 16, that's better. 95.80. Um, yeah. So right now, I would like this to continue going lower. You know what? Let's draw that. Let's go back over here. Let me pull some. Look at this. Horrible. Um. Hmm. hmm. Quite the explosive exit we like. Better. I think this becomes a profit target first. It's going to be our profit target first, and then let's see what happens off that level. Back at the 95 mark. So yeah, I think right now we look for this to be the downside. Again, you got to be, not a bad run, but I think 90, 94, 37 is where we're really looking for this to push down to. So overall, not a bad spot. How much more has it got to run? That's only got 60 pips to go. It's over an ATR. It's not quite an ATR. It's over the 4 hour. The 4 hour is 36. But again, there's news coming out of Japan, which is kind of it's there. Um, but we'll see when we get some help. I want to see that take some type of a bounce. Um, see if what we can get. If we can get a bottoming in here, if we get something a little bit close again, we're a little bit overextended at this point. So yeah, I'd like to see that continue to push. What? Is there, right. Sorry, I'm getting what? Okay, that was weird. All right. right. Okay. Um. Right. Okay. Yeah, I got this weird like pop like notification for like my OneDrive. I don't know if you guys know what OneDrive is. It's like it comes with Microsoft or whatever. And I've used it in the past to sync with different computers, but I was like, why is it doing that? Sorry, it was just a weird. I guess I updated Windows. I updated Windows a couple days ago, and I haven't looked at it since. So that was weird. I don't know. It's just like, oh, you need to resync. It's like, do you want to like no, no? Um, All right. So, um, again, look for this one to continue to push lower. We'll look for a potential bounce as it comes down here. We'll see what it does. But right now, the target to the downside. Look to get out at 94.37. Maybe even a little bit sooner than that. Maybe you shoot for, I don't know, like 94.40. Just because there are buyers stepping in there. So you want to be a little bit more cautious. Euro dollar, a lot of chop back and forth. We can bring this down a little bit. What's the difference? 20 pips, right? 20 pips. So in the last 24 hours, not even a pip an hour. And you can see it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. We got the same level down here. Really, we drew this last week 108.35, 107.28 are really the tops and bottoms where we're looking for some type of reversals in there. You can see, I mean, it came back, but, you know, the here's the level here, and it's getting higher and higher and higher, and it used that. So is it a great one? No, but to turn that around for news, it makes sense. And now it's just it's coming right back down to where the origin of the move actually was. So um, again, could you have traded it? Sure, sure. Is it is it where you want to be taking these things? Not really. In all honesty, not really. Um, so right now we got to wait. It's more or less sideways, less than a pip an hour, so we're not missing too much in here. So look for it to push down, and 107.28 is where we're looking for reversals we talked about yesterday. Euro pound. Look at that. We got to drop all the way down. 5:30. Look, 3 o'clock. Woo! European session. European reversal. Whoop, right back up, and we're in the same spot. So yeah, what this was like? What, 3 a little while ago? We're at 8 right now. We're rocking. We're killing it now. We're killing it because we're slightly above. But again, ton of buyers up here. No clean levels. We're not really looking for much. 86.11. 85.46 on the bottom side. But definitely funny that European Open was here, and then reversal time. Where's my clock? Right, 5:30. Actually, it was a little bit late. There's your 5:30 window right there. So 5:30, same spot, 8 pips from where we were yesterday. Not really enough. So yeah, we mentioned this one being a little bit green today, but it is what it is. Okay, there you go. Euro yen obviously down. So um, funny. Yesterday morning we were here and we talked about this rolling down, and we wanted to see it hit 158. That's pretty damn good. I'm just gonna say right now, that's pretty damn good. Where I drew my arrow to, it actually hit there, the 158 at the time that I drew the arrow. Right. Um, didn't touch this one, didn't move it. We just called for it to go down. If you don't believe me, go watch yesterday's episode. That's pretty damn good. I mean, I'm typically pretty close on a lot of these things. I don't think I've ever been that close. That literally opened right at the 158, exactly at the time. I was like, wow. Right? I jump on like in the beginning just to check these, like, especially at the end. When I saw this one, I was like, man, I surprise myself sometimes. Especially because it waited until, it ground its way down to there and then really started to accelerate. And it's all the way down here now, which I think is awesome. So target of 158 is out right now. There's our alert. We can take that one off. There was some basing in there. Let's pull that arrow off. This level that we were looking at yesterday, saying, hey, listen, this is our kind of target where we're looking for it to push down to. We had all those Harry Potters drawn. They're blown up. They out, right? We can take this off. We can take this off. We're sitting right here. So we knew that the yen, and again, I said it when we were on the Aussie yen. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, here's that funky candle, right? Yeah. So we're playing in that realm right now. Price is sitting right at the bottom of this level, but unfortunately, we have this wick right now. You can't really go through the wick. You can't deny that the wick is there. Um, yeah, sit in your chair. Sit in your chair. So, unfortunately, you can't really draw much from this, right? Because again, this is a clearing wick. It came through. Sometimes people will look back and find extra stuff in there. Um, but overall, it's kind of like, what do you do with it, right? What do you do with it? So again, being that it's all the way over, if you look to see where price is right now, we're looking for the same thing. We're looking for price to come back down again. We're going to look to see what happens down here. We're going to look for some level of basing. That's the last area where any decent buyers were coming in. As far as things up top, again, we can, get rid of this. We can bring fibs all the way down here and say, does anything line up? Not right now, nothing, right? Again, we're talking about getting out of 158. We're at 155.76. So the question is, are we going to come back down? And we know that let's see. You know what? I'll just copy this one. I don't need one for 158. Let's change this to 155. And then text, we will change this to 155. Right there. So you can see what we got going on, right? This is probably our next little target. 155, again, having those fives and the double zeros in there, always going to be a little bit bigger of an area, right? As much push as we are, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we slow down at. It's got another 87 pips. If we don't slow down before then, again, that puts us outside of the daily range of where it typically moves. Again, we know it's massive movement down in the last 24 hours. I don't have this one on the front of the board here. We'll just do it real quick, I guess. We were sitting right here. That's pretty deep. God, I'm so impressed with that draw there. 344 pips. It's got a 144 daily ATR. So we are past. We are going to find a bottom. We are going to see profit taking come in. Yeah. a local number, but don't know who it is. So anyway, we'll look for this to push down 155. I'll be looking for a turning point in this one. It is beyond, it is an emotional move, but at the same time, it is a fundamental change in the way that the BOJ is doing things. You got to be careful of those things. This is not a unemployment, or this is not a a retail sales number. This is a fundamental change, so you will not have the same level of reversal. And again, it's not like the European Union's in a great spot. They're already talking about when they're going to be cutting, and I wouldn't be surprised if the European Union is the first to cut. Okay, you heard it here first. Um, Pound dollar. So pound dollar. We talked about this. We missed it. You can see this one got out yesterday at about 1 o'clock. So again, another successful trade from yesterday, 10 for 30. Actually, yeah, it was 1 o'clock was the candle that breached it to the other side. So again, decent move, right? We are much lower. Again, European session here, we kind of went up and then got really crazy. We bunched up at 8:30, which we saw in everything. And then what did it do? It just turned, and again, U.S. session rolled in and we pushed lower. Now we do have a zone down here that we were talking about before. I think right now, is that an amazing zone? Do I love this zone? No, but it's definitely an area where we've had buyers. What are you making faces for? Definitely an area where we got to look at and say, hey, listen, if we can get the right chart pattern, um, not a bad spot. Not a bad spot. I think there's the potential for a reversal in there, um, but we got to see how much, you know. So this is out. This level completely out. We went all the way down from where we originally talked. We can take the alert off, right? Take the alert off, right? There's my pattern, right there. Right there was our basing, what we talked about yesterday. Remember, I moved this over, moved it back, and you can see it went all the way down. So we are out. To remove my pattern, let's run some fibs on this one to see what we got. We're going to go from here, not there, because it changed. Oh, look at that. That's where it came up and used the 23 for that news. That's nice. So right now, I like to see it go lower. So we're in an area right now. Again, we're pushing through to 1030. Hold on one sec. Melissa just sent me a message. I just want to make sure it's not a car problem. Um, okay. Um, so yeah, probably some type of reversal. I'd like to see what it does here. If we do manage to break through this level, we do know that we have some Harry Potters. We've talked about it before in the past. I don't have alerts on any of these things, and again, I'm gonna change this around a little bit. I'm gonna move this one up a little bit because I'd like to know when we're getting into that zone. Actually, let's do it right in the middle because it looks like we were looking for a base. It looks like it used it. It never gave us the base. The base was a little bit lower and then pulled back up again. I'm gonna remove this one. I'm gonna bring this one up just a little bit so we know to say, hey, listen, there's something in here. Look for that Harry Potter there. I'm gonna add an alert. Good. Um, Yeah, I'd like to see there. So we definitely have some run the run, but this is not the ideal opportunity to go long. If you look below it, I'll just remove this because I don't need it. It's a base, but you can see a lot of buyers in there. This whole level is kind of steps of buyers, 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 and a nice little pop. So it's got to grind through it. We got some space before we get there. Overall, I do like it on a fundamental basis. I do think that the pound is much weaker than the dollar. So I'm good kind of with all these pushes. So I like this. I think this is fine. I'm good. We got some room to run. Potential reversals come in, but overall, I do like the dollar's cases over the pound, but not really a setup right now. Pound yen also continued. Yesterday, we talked about this one, saying that, hey, listen, we got a couple zones in here. They've been hit 5 or 6 times. We need to get through, right? It didn't go up. We said go up or down. It didn't go up. It did go down. We mentioned, and we did have an alert here. We said, hey, listen, we need a base. Where's the base? It gave us the base. Unfortunately, the base came in here, and then it didn't pull back up. So this would have been one of those ones where it's like, the euro yen, we were good. This one a little bit harder. Unfortunately, the base came in right here, and you didn't. It tried to pull back, it just didn't get it. It just collapsed, unfortunately, on us. So, a little bit harder. Went well beyond where we thought it was going to go. Again, we mentioned a level here, the 78. We're actually lower than that right now. So let's take us up a couple of these out. Let's take this out, out, out. And again, we weren't super concerned about that. Right now, we're playing with this territory here. Did that one go? No, it didn't go all the way across. So let's mark there. Change that to a red. Uh, 'Let's see what happens with that. 422. All right, so 424 hours. Um, yeah, we're at 200 pips since the 200 pips from the European Open, so 400 in total. So yeah, so we're kind of extended on this one as well. Again, there's two levels down here. I think we look at the first one would be when we hit this level here. Um, at 180, 107, or 181 in general. I think that's an area where we could see potential profit takers coming in, and it could be a pivot point to the top side. So again, one thing that you want to watch out for. The level right below it, the 180.50 to the what is it, 180.32. I think we're looking for a kind of a Harry Potter, just a continuation, a break to the downside on that one. Again, it's got to break through this level first, so we'll see. It actually may come down and then come back up. It could be one of these, right? We may kind of hiccup in here, right? Push down, come back up, and that may be where we pull the trigger. It may be something along those lines, right? Something like that with the base forming in that level. It may chop back and forth on there, and again, I wouldn't be surprised if it chops and starts to go up a little bit. There's definitely profit going to be taken from this big push to the downside. But what we're looking for is when we do come through, this is a potential scenario. It could be a scenario like that too. So I don't know. It could be there or it could be there. I think either of them are decent as far as what could happen. Um, but I'm kind of wondering if we grind into there, see a little bit of a push up, and then in the overnight we come down base and pull back and use that level. So I think there's something brewing with the pound yen. Um, there's something brewing, but I don't think it's the ideal setup. Did you leave a message? No, it was a spam call. All right. So again, nothing ready. Something's coming. Dollar CAD grinding. Right. We talked about this yesterday. We were sitting right in here. We're like, we're at a level, but it's been there before. Not really the ideal scenario. Oh yeah, you can close personal. Three hits. What did it do? It base, then went higher, and then what did it do? It kind of used it to go higher. So again, it's just grinding. Um, Overall, again, it's moving in the right direction. I think we're fine with where we are. We do have sellers here, so I mean, there is a small zone here. I don't know. I don't think this is the. I mean, maybe it is the peak for the day. It's been there once, but it drove pretty deep in there. Look at that. That went all the way up to here, right? It went to there. There's not a ton left in that one. And look right above it. We got a zone sitting there. And actually, this is one that we've marked off before. You can see it right here. Something along those lines. So I do think there's two areas on this one. Could we reverse off of here? Sure, we could. There's not a lot left in there, but it is at 50%. So you will have people artificially coming in for that, that 50% level. Um, But I think this is a better zone up top. If we just continue to grind back and we eventually punch through, I'm not sure why I have two of them there. I think the next level we're looking for shorts and dollar cat is 136.52. So, and again, 4 hits through, basing on the top, pull back and go. So not horrible. As we pull away. I love it. 1 hour ago. Canadian FX debt. Canadian dollar strengthens. Right. Benchmark yields climb. Right. They're saying the Canadian. Yeah, so it dropped down a little bit. I guess that's when they wrote the article 1 hour ago. And then since that time, it's weakened the entire time. So yeah. So yeah, it's fine. Dollar Swiss. All right. So dollar Swiss. You can see yesterday morning we were playing. We said, "Hey, listen, there's buyers in here. There's not really a great zone to use." And you can see it got really choppy. It went up and went down. It went up and went down. It went up and then kind of formed a little base. It hit that top level, which we had drawn yesterday, and then pulled back down again. And what did it do at 6:30 this morning? It found those same buyers. But again, we still really can't draw a zone there. And then it kind of came up and it finally breached, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It went through and then immediately pulled back down again. So not a whole lot clean. We do have a small area up here at 87, 87. We've talked about this one in the past. Actually, let's shrink that a little bit. Actually, we may have kept that one like that because it was too small. Yeah, it's only about 8 pips. So 87. I think we really need to put there. 87, 89. So we're approaching a level. Again, it could be somewhat of a 1030 reversal today. Since the U.S. Open has been there, straight up dollar strength. You tend to see a turn and reversal. And I think that's kind of where it's at. We kind of see this one pull back. It's fine. It's not bad. It is what it is. Right? It is what it is. So again, I think there's a reversal there. Do I want to take that one? I mean, there's a confirmed level in there. I mean, I guess if you're really looking for a trade, you could set something up here. I think it's probably going to run out of steam a little bit. It's only what do we call it? 8.5 pips on that one. 1 to 3 would only need to move to there. So not even there's 3 dead on. Love when I do that. And not even all the way back to the origin of the move today. So not bad. Not bad. It's fine. It is where it is. Dollar yen. Same thing. So we were looking for, and again, this is the same thing. We didn't get the reversal. We didn't get the base on this one. It just kind of accelerated. The alert did go off. Again, we mentioned having to clear through the bottom of this one. And we talked about getting down to 146. Now we did, right? We can run fibs all the way down. And right now there's a zone. It's kind of the form. But again, Harry Potter's looking for bases. There was a base. There was a pullback, right? It came in. Whoops. Right here. We were calling for it up here, though. Right? Pull that one off. So here's the level on the other side. Again, this is one there forever ago. You can see we talked about this. This is back from August, right? And we talked about a potential kind of Harry Potter, but there's a little hiccup behind it. It hit it here, right? There's a base. It hit it here. It hit it here. It didn't quite get down here. We were looking for a hit and a bounce off of it. It gave us the pattern, but it didn't quite hit, right? Down here at 144.50, right? Then we hit it again here, right? And then we talked about having a target down at this 144.82. And we called the Harry Potter a break here. So let's pull this one off because that one is obviously out. Price is down here right now, so we can pull that off. The alert was triggered, so we're going to pull the alert off. Right. This 78 was hit. Let's pull this. Pull a lot of these back from the old areas. Pull that off. And let's see. These are too old. Just pull these off. Pull that off. I don't need that either. Sorry, I just want to clean these up. All right. So yeah. So we're there right now. So we already know what we got here. We know we got a bit of a Harry Potter trade. Let's see how much room is it. About 119 pips. So there is a little bit of a little hiccup right below it. About 15 pips below. So looking at where we are right now. So we know there's buyers in there. It's been there a few times, right? It's absolutely been there a few times. Big question is, it's 10:30. Are we going to see the profit taking finally come in? Everything else, there's been dollar strength, but here we have dollar weakness coming in. So big question is, what will happen in this zone, right? This zone is not very big. We know, what are we talking here? 15 is right there. So we know we have an area of buyers sitting right there. At this point, I think it's a wait and hold. Now, we get, again, we're kind of doing a base here, but maybe we get a pop down before pushing. Potentially. Because it's the 10:30 time frame, maybe we see dollar weakness and profit taking all at the same time. Maybe we start to form a base sideways here. And then this becomes something like that. right? So it's kind of setting up. Maybe it becomes like that. Maybe that's what we're looking for. Maybe we base right above this zone. We punch through. We grab that one that's 15 pips below, and then we push back up again. Um, um, Yeah, I think this is very similar to a couple of the other trades we've seen, like the pound yen. There's something forming in there. It's not formed yet. What happens in the next 2 or 3 hours? This may be one of those ones that, for the next 2 3 hours, every 30 minutes, just take a peek at this one. Right? Set yourself an alarm. 11 o'clock. Let me see what it's doing. Great. Right? 11:30. Nope, not yet. 12 o'clock. Nope, not yet. Right? Every 30 minutes, just take a peek at it real quick. Load the app on your phone or whatever whatever platform you're using. Just look at it, right? But I think something's forming here. Um, do I think we're gonna have massive, amounts of dollar weakness in this one? No, but again, because the yen is more of a fundamental thing right now, I like this one downside. We just know that on a technical basis, we have room to run. Um, so it's not. We got the room, is what I'm saying. We got the room. All right. With a potential push down. Now, it's funny. We're talking about 155s, 140s, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're still really, really high in this one. I think we got, the ability to go a little bit further, right? Especially if, the yen is going to actually make some type of hawkish play. There'll be only ones right now that are doing anything hawkish. Which again, I think they're long overdue. I think they should have done it a long time ago. So that's good. Let's look at oil. All right. We're back under 70 again. There we go. So we said, hey, look for something over here. And it looks like it came down all the way to 69, right? I'm actually surprised after the inventory came out yesterday here. In all honesty, and funny, I actually saw at 4 o'clock or whatever, at the end of the day when I got the notification that it closed below 70, they were like, despite there being a huge down draw, and it was funny, they're kind of like, we're all scratching our heads, but yeah, it went down. Um, which I thought was kind of funny. Um, we really haven't left the area. You can see, we had that big push, 12 o'clock, and we kind of started to stabilize. And then at 4, we kind of pushed back up. And what are we doing now? We're running right down this middle channel at $70. So again, 70 is going to be one of those weird things. Do you buy? Do you close? Which side is it going to be on? Again, did the job numbers today, did it change anything? No, it didn't really. It didn't. There wasn't like a whole lot less people, a whole lot more less people. It didn't affect demand whatsoever. It came exactly as expected. And we kind of said that yesterday that we wouldn't be surprised if it did, if it came in as exactly as expected. So yeah. Is there a direction in oil? Not so much. I think it's going to stay in hover. Honestly, I think the next big drop, or the next big hat to drop in this one is going to be some type of comments. I personally believe that it will come out of Saudi Arabia. We'll get something that talks about, again, maybe we need more cuts. They're not happy that it's down at $70. They lose a lot of money, especially the fact that it was up at 95 in the last year. And again, the 52-week low is 63. So we're much closer to the low than the high. And it's trending down. And what are we talking about? Oh my God. We need to cut interest. We're going to go into recession. The rates are so restrictive across the whole world. Everything is bad. Again, that's why the cuts need to happen. But the reality is, you have something like all of a sudden China starts really coming back again. That demand's there. It's an interesting spot. I wouldn't be surprised if some more cuts come in. And here's the thing that's crazy about this oil situation, right? Saudi Arabia wants to start doing some more cuts, or they want to control more cuts so they can start stabilizing and really getting oil to not be as volatile as it's been. What's going to happen? The U.S. is going to be like, okay, well, we can't be, at their beck and call for prices, and they're just manipulating the market. What do we need to do? We need to create more oil, not create more, but like more oil infrastructure. So, again, there's already a petition against the United States for the gas expansion, because again, remember, Russia bad, right? Well, what happens if suddenly Russia and Ukraine come to peace terms, and you no longer can hold sanctions on them? You can't hold sanctions on them for just no reason, right? Right. So if the sanctions are gone and everybody can have Russian, we have so much more natural gas than we need. Again, what happens? The same thing here. We get pissed off at Saudi Arabia. We create more. Isn't that the exact opposite of the direction we're supposed to be moving in? Right. I mean, understand, like, they want to move to EV, but if gas prices is only $50 a barrel, right? If it's that cheap, it's not worth it financially to go the other direction, right? Like, you can force people, like, that's it. You have to have, here's the thing. Like California, what is it, by like 2030 or something like that in 7 years? They're only allowed to have electric cars. They can't make people get rid of their old cars, right? Does it turn into Cuba where we have a whole bunch of old historic cars because nobody wants to deal with the EV situation? I mean, who knows? They got brownouts already. Let's turn everybody EV. It's like we don't have a power grid for that. So yeah, I think this one. I think the next big move in this one is going to be something that you're not going to be able to prepare for. So right now, I would say be very, very cautious of the oil. Unfortunately, oil pit traders are, they got to move it because they got to make some money, but not really the best place to put your money. Natural gas, we hit 0.00. Big push down because of that mild weather, and now all the way up, right? Natural gas falls to a 3-month low on mild forecast ahead of fresh storage. And then magic at 7:30 this morning is like, whoop, right back up again. So we've hit a couple of these levels. We hit it, we based. Yesterday we talked about this. We drove all the way down, and I said, be cautious. We started the base below it, and what did it do? I've drawn this on 3 charts already, right? We talked about wherever the base is, then look for a push and a pullback to that level before we dropped. I had this on a couple of them. Didn't I just draw this on? Was it? Where was it? Was it this one? Yeah, the drop, the base, the pullback. Well, I did here, but there's your drop, the base, the pullback. Right. So I said instead of this, but I had one more piece in there, but we talked about the base. There was your base from yesterday. There was your drop. There was your pullback, and there's your push right before zone. So yeah. Now the zone is broken, and that's what it's supposed to do, right? That's what it's supposed to do. It's a continuation pattern when it breaks. Now we're cycling back up. So now we can, I don't know, we could throw some fibs on there. Maybe say, hey, listen, there was the high for the week. Here's the low. Well, we're in that same basing level right now, right? There's the same basing level. We got supply coming out in 9 minutes, right, for natural gas. What if we got a whole lot of extra because, again, people don't need it? Mild, right? It's snowing outside, but it's mild. Wouldn't this be the area where price a couple hours beforehand, before inventory, drives it straight up into a zone of confirmed sellers? Wouldn't this be the area where we would see this turn and shoot back down again? Yeah, potentially. And as I said, it's mild, but Texas is supposed to get a storm in the next couple of days. Philadelphia is snowing. I had snow flurries this morning. It's December. I mean, I got more snow flurries today than I think I did all last winter. So, not that it sat on the ground. It just, you can see white spots on a car. But that's about it, right? It's 39 degrees outside. Mild. So, yeah, so we could have a turn. Now, if it does clear this level, if news does pop into the top side, again, is there buying opportunities in this one if you're looking for it? Yeah. Yeah, we can take this level off. It got sliced through. We know we got a little bit of Harry Potter trade, bringing us back up into 270s. 270s is the median point right now, 271. So if it does kind of take off, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we come back up, here's the median point right here, right? There is your median point, right at the 78.6. A little bit lower, right about there, right? That's kind of where we started the week, right? So, yeah. Gold. So gold, it is pulling back a little bit. And again, I'll just extend these across again. We talked about it. It was up 0.3, and you can see it did that at the European session. U.S. traders came in line and put strength back in the dollar, and this pulled back down. We're still in the same exact channel, right? We've been bouncing back and forth, and again, another successful hit, and we're back at 50% in the middle. So overall, again, I think Powell, I mean, there's been a number of different comments. One hedge fund guy says 5 times, one guy says 6 times, the next guy's like, you're all crazy. It's not till at least maybe 1, maybe 2, but there's no way there's 5. Another guy came out, another one of these big portfolio managers, like, the fact that people are talking about this, it's so premature. The market is not, we're not dying as a nation, right? It is not so restrictive that things aren't happening, right? So yeah, nothing there yet. Overall, is it, is this spike there? Is it done? Again, I think at this point, again, we are going to push higher, but look at this. We do have sellers right above as well, kind of backstop from this 23 level. So I don't expect much out of this today. Maybe tomorrow at non-farm. Maybe non-farm delivers like some mega surprise tomorrow, and that just sends this going crazy. I'll tell you right now, if there's a surprise to the top side, which I don't know if there will be, I think it'll be probably more on what the expectation is. But for some reason, if there is a big surprise, right, and there's a surprise to the top side, seeing this turn and just collapse back down to 2,000 tomorrow will not surprise me at all. I think 2,000 will be on the radar pretty easily. Silver, again, we were out here yesterday at 12 o'clock. We had talked about this. We were sitting here. We said that you're a little bit deep in. If you were in, great. It was the same thing. And again, I just drew this I just did this a little while ago, right? Where did I do it on? Was it over here? I forget which one. Was it natural gas? Yeah, it was right here, right? I just drew the same thing here. Silver has the same pattern, right? That's what we had yesterday. We said 24 was kind of the target. We hit 24. We're actually lower, 23.75. Again, there's the old targets. Problem is right now, this is right. We got, I'll just put this one there. We got this whole area right here. Great area to buy off of. Super clean. No, no, no. In fact, let's change this to orange. So we're kind of like, yeah, not really at the best of levels. But is there sellers in there? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you had a nice little pop here, right? The push, the pullback, and then the nice acceleration. So there's buyers sitting in there. And that's what we're kind of running into right now. We'll see. Maybe the inventory number helps us out. Again, it drove into that level of buyers right before inventory that came out. What is the expectation today for that inventory? Wow, that's interesting. The previous there was a 10, and now it's supposed to be minus 110. So yeah, maybe. What did you do? What did you do? Went down like the rabbit hole again. We'll be right back after this ad. Three, two, one. Okay, there we go. Give it. Come on. Here, buds. Here. You are the best finding the rabbit hole on YouTube. So yeah, expected to be a big downdraw. Now here's the thing: expected to be huge. What if it comes in at minus 90 or 90 or minus 80? The market didn't think that it was going to be that bad. That would give us a buying opportunity here, right? So again, maybe something there if you want to play news on this one. This one doesn't. There's not as much volume in this one, so this one does not have as much manipulation in it. So just be cautious with that. But again, typically any other news thing where we see a huge difference here that's like super super negative, and we're pushing into a level, and it just drove into that level, tends to be a reversal in most things. Will it happen today? Maybe. Maybe we'll see in a few minutes. Let's see what we got here. Is the VIX done much? We popped down. We're kind of stuck. Yeah, same thing. We're still chopping back and forth here. Again, 10:30, 10:30s. We're kind of running back and forth. But again, we still have that magnet. We're within close proximity here. Down just a smidge. So let's see what we got here. ES. Let's go back down to 15. And you can see it was the 9:30 was the peak high. And then we pushed. God, look at this. So, was there an overnight level we could use? No. We were sitting here. I mean, there's that decent triangle right there. I don't know that I would have used that. I don't even think it actually hit. Did it hit? No, it missed it by just a little bit. So, not really. It felt the buyers. Right here, I'll make this big so you guys can see it. Looks like it felt the buyers in there. Right? Felt the buyers. I'm sorry, felt the sellers, pulled back to reload, and then punched through. So it's fine. Not an opening print. I mean, here's the overnight. There's nothing here in the overnight. I mean, I guess 8:30 there was an attempt, but nothing. It was just dead in the overnight. So yeah, not enough there to play with. What do we got here? 9:30 chopped, 9:15 reloaded and went higher. So yeah, not quite at his own. Um, Obviously, no opening print, but we will have some profit taking. This will be hit number 3. But if we surge up, I think there could be a potential reversal off of this one right here. Has 2 good hits. Closed here and then gapped. And then when it came to fill that gap, it rallied, and then boom, got hammered down. The fact that this is up the most today, is that where you want to go short? No, but it's getting really, really close. So I don't think that's a bad level. Again, if we hit that level again, 11 o'clock tends to be where those reversals, 10:30, 11 o'clock is where reversals come in. We're in close proximity. We got 30 minutes. We could absolutely drive that far up. Maybe it gets pushed at 12, 12:30. But if we have a pullback today, it's a decent level. We have confirmed sellers there. So it's kind of in that close proximity where we're looking. YM, did we have anything? Funny. Yesterday we did the same thing. You guys see this? Look. All this gapping came down, rode the line, rode the line, rode the line, rode the line, boom, pushed down, came back up, rode the line, went all the way up, tagged the line again, came back down, tagged the line again. You see how this makes jumps to the whole numbers? We kind of came down again, opening print. No, there's not a single thing over there. And what did it do? It went all the way up, it came all the way down, right? And now it's pushing right back up in that same level. It's 0.06, so it's not even a big mover right now. So again, not much, but just funny how, you see all the I mean, same thing. Basing, 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 basing. Came up, basing at the top. Basing down here again. Basing down here. Up, tagged it, came back down, and we're basing right here again. So, yeah. Go round number. What do we got Russell wise? Oh, God. Wow. I mean, you could say there's a zone we pulled down and we had a nice little kind of push off of it. It's not really a confirmed overnight level because, again, it really didn't do much. European market sent it down and it rallied away. So, I mean, there were buyers there. I mean, people may have taken this one just saying, hey, listen, this is the bottom. There was a nice, long bodied candle coming off of it at news, which shows there's buyers down. You could have taken it, you know, it is what it is. It's fine. Not opening print, right? It's not, it doesn't mean it's not confirmed level in the overnight, but it was a level. Again, a riskier level. But had you hit it, you can see that it did go in there. We are past 1 to 3. The problem is right now, this entire level, I mean, this is all sellers here. There's a big area of sellers sitting right there. So kind of the same thing that we saw in what, ES? No, not ES. NQ? Yeah, it was NQ. Looks very, very similar. We got a little bit more of a push to go to a confirmed level of sellers. We got a little bit more of a push, and we can actually shrink this to there. Right, a little bit more of a push. We got this one has a little bit of a fight to get there, but just a little bit more push. We got an area of sellers coming in right there. So yeah, kind of similar pictures on a couple things. Let's see, what was the natural gas number? All right, so it was worse by a little bit. That's a huge down draw. Let's see, what did natural gas do? Let's see. It was already going down. Yeah, it's pushing up. Yeah. But it's not, you would expect, oh my God, it's huge. You would expect more. There's the emotional response. I'm kind of wondering if when this turns and rolls back down, if we end up pulling the trigger on that one on the downside. But funny, not only was it that big number, but it was bigger than what they expected it to be. And all you got was a pop and a drop right back down again. So it shows you people trying to time this one. The thing is, there's just nothing going right here. There's nothing to really draw from. Question is, if this doesn't really start to accelerate up, we'll pull back down. So again, the market was already prepared for a big number. Is 117 much different than 110? I don't know. I don't know. But I would say that percentage wise, not so much. Right? Not so much. And again, I don't even think one. Let me see. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have. Let's see. Yeah, I guess you do. Right? I guess this time of year, December of last year, there was a 200 down draw, right? So I mean, you can get them. February had a 151, so 217, 100. So I guess you can get them. I guess it's not. I mean, I guess the reality is here if you're getting twos, 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 117 is not horrible, especially with the prediction of being that bad. So it's fine. Again, mild temperatures and snow and a huge down draw, and we're just seeing this. So yeah, I would expect this one to turn and roll as well. So all right, with that, let's get into our drawing for the day. Some stuff out there. It's whatevs. Melissa would say. All right. I'll give it another 15 seconds since I was playing around there. Where's Will? We're missing Will again. Will's probably filling the tanks. 3, 2, 1, and boom. All right, here we go. Winner today's drawing is Neuro takes it. Neuro. I'm telling you, you got something here worked out, my friend. Telling you, right? Let's see. So Neuro, you took it today. Did you take it yesterday too? Yeah, you took it yesterday. All right, there we go, Neuro. Telling you, Neuro, there's something about that 6 thing. Something to be said about it. It's working. It's working, right? I know what you'll bid tomorrow. Everybody knows what you're going to bid tomorrow, so You got a new system. It's working out just fine. All right. With that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Again, a lot of stuff going on tomorrow morning. We'll come in right after this non-farm number. Look to see what it does. I mean, again, this point three is great. People getting paid more money. This non-farm, we'll see. Again, the ADP number got blown up. I bet you the expectation from a lot of people are thinking that this one's going to get blown up as well. And then the unemployment rate. What if it does get blown up, but the unemployment rate doesn't change? So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the unemployment rate goes to 4. Maybe this comes in as 100,000. And at that point, I think the dollar just tanks tomorrow. I think they'll be like, that's it. Start cutting in January, right? Which again, we're not quite there yet, but there'll be people going for it. So yeah. So with that, thank you for joining me today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I'll see you then.